Yeah. This is your boy, Tone DeShields II. You guys are locked in on your dose of chalking up sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Now, look, don't kill me. Don't take my head off. I understand I told you guys I would be live at 8 p.m. Eastern time, not 9 p.m. Eastern time. I get it. But we're going through some weather. We're going through a pretty intense weather situation right now where I am. A lot of storms, hail warning. I believe we even had a tornado warning, things like that. So please, you guys, don't jump out the window on me. I know I was supposed to be live earlier, but we're here now. We're here now. And, we got some things to talk about. But before we do that, you know what your job is. You know what your role is on this train here. You know how we get busy and chalk it up sports mafia here. Now, I need you guys to smash that like button on the way in. The like button is currency. Make sure you guys are on the right side of history. Smash that like button if you're new, especially if you're a OG subscriber. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the show. I'm always welcome to newcomers. Always welcome to new vibes and new energy and new banter. And always somebody new to argue with. So make sure you guys smash that like button. And make sure you guys also hit that notification bell after you subscribe. That notification bell lets you know whenever I go live. It reminds you. It gives you a nice little, knock in the pocket saying, hey, Tone is doing his thing. So make sure you guys are on the right side of things. Again, smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. And also make sure you guys hit that notification bell. But let's get right into it. For one, let's do some shout outs. Troll King Gaming. I appreciate you, my friend. Tyler Broswell, thank you for being here. Flexing and stepping, along with my other people as well, vibing on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Also, shout out to my people on the YouTube side. Appreciate y'all. James Jones was good. So, yeah, let's get right to the shits, you guys. Let's get right to the shenanigans. Let's talk about it. So, Fletcher Cox officially announced his retirement today. He officially retired from the NFL. He had his final press conference as a Philadelphia Eagle, and he touched on a lot. He touched on the support he had from his family and all the coaches along the way that helped him get to this point. He spoke on losing a brother at a young age, and when he knew he was the guy, when he knew that he could actually play in this league. And overall, Fletcher Cox, he has been a phenomenal Philadelphia Eagle. He has never shortchanged us. He has always been at the top of his game. And he's been an Iron Man for the Philadelphia Eagles for the most part. I mean, he's been one of their most healthiest. He's been one of their more healthiest players over the past decade plus. Fletcher Cox, I think he gave the Eagles 12 years, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he gave the Philadelphia Eagles 12 seasons. 12 seasons as a Philadelphia Eagle. And 7 years in the playoffs. So 7 out of his 12 years with the Philadelphia Eagles, my man was in the playoffs, playing for something that mattered. I mean, that's a pretty stellar resume. I mean, we can get into it, right? Because the reason I want to talk about Fletcher Cox is because it's going to help us transition into the conversation of Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. Because that's when we're going to get to the nitty-gritty of our conversation. And that's when we're going to start making some people a little uncomfortable. That's when the real discourse is going to begin. Right now, we're just paying homage to our guy, Fletcher Cox, for delivering a hell of a career as a Philadelphia Eagle. Again, Fletcher Cox, when he came into the league, 6'4", 310, born and raised in Yazoo City, Missouri, went to Mississippi State, went to Yazoo City High School, drafted in the first round, 12th overall in the 2012 draft. Gave the Philadelphia Eagles a grand total of 188 games through 12 seasons, started in 182 games. I mean, throughout his career, let's be honest, Fletcher's only missed what? Maybe a grand total of 12, 13 games in his whole career, if that. Let's do some math. So 1, 3, 5, 6, 8. Fletcher Cox has only missed 8 games in his career. Think about that. Fletcher Cox, living in the trenches, going crazy. Only missed a total of 8 games in his Philadelphia Eagles career. Through a 12-year career, Fletcher Cox has only missed 8 games. He never shortchanged the game, never shortchanged the fans, never shortchanged his teammates. I mean, you go through the resume, right? 6-time Pro Bowler, 1-time first-team All-Pro, 3-time second-team All-Pro, Hall of Fame All-2010s team, Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl 52 champion. It don't get no better than that. I'll say it again for the people in the back. 6 Pro Bowls, 1 first-team All-Pro, 3 second-team All-Pros. Made the Hall of Fame All-2010s team. Super Bowl 52 champion. 188 games played, 182 started. Only missed 8 games in his 12-year career. Gave you 519 total tackles, 88 TFLs, 173 quarterback hits, 70 sacks at the D tackle position. Not easy to do. Not easy to do. 3 touchdowns as a defensive tackle. Not easy to do. So when you think about Fletcher Cox's career, he's regularly been available. For most of his career, he's primarily played over 70% of the snaps. Primarily. So again, Fletcher Cox is a player that you have to give reverence to. You got to show love to him. That humble beast, that quiet dog. But remember, quiet dogs still bite. So overall, man, shout out to Fletcher Cox for delivering a hell of a career for the Philadelphia Eagles, helping deliver the first Super Bowl in the organization's history, in the city's history. Got to tip your hat to that, man. Got to tip your hat to that. That alone should help his Hall of Fame candidacy. That should help his Hall of Fame candidacy. He's definitely going to the Eagles Hall of Fame. But to be a part of the roster that delivered the first Super Bowl to the city of Philadelphia, that goes a long way in my book. If I'm a Hall of Fame voter, you were a part of that Super Bowl winning roster, a primary contributor. A grand total of 4 All-Pros, 3 second team, 1 first team, 6 Pro Bowls, Super Bowl champion, Hall of Fame All-2010s team. I mean, I don't see why he can't be considered. I don't see why he shouldn't be considered. He should at least be considered, right? You can debate if he should get in. I'm not even going to do that. He should be considered. And that right there is the conversation. That's the conversation. I'm not going to sit here and convince you if he should or if he shouldn't. But he should definitely be considered. So I salute you. I salute you, Fletch. Big dog. So I say all that to say, again, Fletcher Cox has been a staple for the Philadelphia Eagles on that D-line. While a lot of things changed around him, he stayed true. He stayed reliable. He stayed available. Fletcher Cox has played next to Javon Hargrave, Who else has he played next to? Did he play next to he played next to Vinnie Curry, Chris Long. He played next to Benny Logan, and he played next to Trent Cole. He Timmy Jernigan. I mean, Fletcher Cox has been around. He's been around. And for a guy to be as reliable, not only from the place of ability, he's been the consummate professional when it comes to availability. Stepping up when it matters most. Being the guy that's going to show up no matter what. Leading by example. Taking care of his body. Got to give credit where credit is due. Got to give credit where credit is due. Because that's not something that's easy to emulate. It's not something that's easy to replicate. You don't just find guys like that and they don't just fall off trees. But we're hoping that we found two future linchpins in our defensive line. We're hoping that after drafting two defensive tackles in the first round in back-to-back seasons will bode well for the Philadelphia Eagles' future on defense. That is the idea, correct? That's the goal. When you think about what Fletcher Cox provided the Philadelphia Eagles, that stability at the position. You never had to look Fletcher Cox's way. You know he would be there, and you know he was going to show out. The torch is being passed. And the question becomes, will Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter be willing, eager to take up the mantle? Are Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis ready to take that next step in their careers? Because we have a lot riding on this, Philadelphia. There's a lot riding on this, Philadelphia. If you agree, if you disagree, it don't matter. The reality is Fletcher Cox is retired. He's no longer here. Fletcher Cox, that era is done. And I'm so grateful that he gave the years that he gave to the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm so grateful to be able to say we are Super Bowl champions. We were Super Bowl champions because of that man showing up when it mattered most. But can Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis be who we expect them to be? Jordan Davis, 6'6", 336 pounds, 24 years old. Went to Georgia. Drafted in the first round, 13th overall. One pick later than Fletcher Cox. 10 years later, one pick later, Jordan Davis is a Philadelphia Eagle. Jalen Carter, 6'3", 314, 23 years old. Another Georgia boy, drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles, first round, 9th overall. Two top 15 picks, back-to-back drafts, going to your defensive tackle position. We ain't got time to play and wait, Philadelphia. The time is now. The time is now. Jordan Davis entering year 3. Jalen Carter entering year 2. Milton Williams. I didn't forget you, brother. I didn't forget you, brother. Milton Williams, 6'3", 290, 25 years old. Went to Louisiana Tech. Drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles in the 3rd round, 73rd overall in the 2021 draft. Now, granted, his draft stock isn't anywhere as damning or heavy or hard to recoup as a Jalen Carter type of draft pick or a Jordan Davis, draft stock. Milton Williams doesn't have their draft stock, but Milton Williams has been a hard worker through and through and has been a reliable rotational piece on that in that defensive tackle room. A guy that just shows up, stays out the way, takes his ball and goes home, does his job. But again, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Milton Williams, you three are the future of this position as it stands right now. Now, will Milton Williams be resigned after this year? This is his contract year. Do we see the Eagles resigning him? It's very possible, but it all depends if he wants to test the open market and maybe get bigger money elsewhere and maybe become a starter. You never know what his aspirations are. You never know if he loves the city so much and he loves the area where he feels like this is the best deal, the best place for him. You never know. But the fact of the matter is Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and Milton Williams, but most notably those 2 first-round picks I mentioned, you two are the future, and the future is here. The future is now. Jordan Davis, you've been able to watch Fletcher Cox for 2 seasons. You saw what it means to be a pro. You know what it means. Jalen Carter, you got Fletcher Cox for 1 season. You see what it means to be a pro. I say all that to say, although they are young and although they are nowhere near their primes, it's put up or shut up time. This is where it begins. The new era. The new era. BG will be gone next year, after next year, or after this season, however you want to slice it. BG will be gone. That entire defensive front, new guys, young guys. The oldest guy on the D-line might be Josh Sweat right now, and Josh Sweat is 26. Josh Sweat, 26. It's a lot riding on this season. That defensive line has to work. It has to work. If you guys are just hopping in, make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. You guys are locked in on Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. If you're just hopping in, we were discussing Fletcher Cox's retirement in his press conference. He officially retired today. If you didn't already know, he officially announced his retirement. He had a press conference in front of the Philadelphia media at the NovaCare complex. He pretty much laid out all the people who helped him get to this point, showed a lot of love to the coaching staff, to the nutritionists, to the dietitians, the strength and conditioning guys, showed a lot of love to past coaches, past mentors, his family. Showed a lot of love to his vets, his OGs, D'Amico Ryans and Trent Cole, guys like that. Even Derek Barnett, how they bonded over loss. Fletcher Cox thanked his little big brother, you know what I mean? Or his big little brother, however you want to slice it. He thanked his brother who passed away a while ago. And that led to us transitioning into the future of the D tackle position in Philadelphia. The future of Fletcher, the future is now when it comes to Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis taking up the mantle. Fletcher Cox left the tools. He left the blueprint, how to get it done in this city, how to be a pro. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, it's that time. It's that time. It's that time. Ivan Mims, what's good, my man? He says, "What up, bro? I'm gonna watch it in the morning on the way to work." Well, guess what, brother? I'm glad you was able to check in with us. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. My man S. Blunt in the building. Appreciate you, my man. He says, "You can't compare Davis to Fletcher. They have 2 different roles. But Tone's point is productivity as a first-round pick." Exactly. Absolutely. If Jordan Davis gets me 5 sacks in a season, oh, that's a blessing, right? That's a plus. But the reality is, I'm looking for Jordan Davis to set the tone in the line of scrimmage. I'm looking for Jordan Davis to turn that defensive line into an ironclad wall that cannot be penetrated. Pause. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Because the reality is this. I know Jordan Davis is not going to be a stat sheet stuffer. I know that. That's not why he's here. He's here to be a space eater. He's here to free up guys like Jalen Carter, to free up guys like Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, Bryce Huff. No, this is not about that. This is not about that. It's not about that. This is not about replacing his production. This is not about that. Do not get me confused. Do not get me confused. Jordan Davis and Fletcher Cox. Two different roles. Two different roles. I'm not looking for Jordan Davis to replace Fletcher Cox's production. What I'm looking for is for Jordan Davis to play his best football, the football that we know he can play in whatever capacity that is. I'm not looking, again, I will say this again for those who didn't hear me, for those who are in the back. I'm not looking for Jordan Davis to give me 7, 8 sacks in a season. I'm not looking for that. But if he happens to give me 4 or 5, oh, okay, I'll take it. What I'm looking for from Jordan Davis is for him to set the tone in the line of scrimmage. A guy that would be an immovable object. What happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? That's what I want Jalen or Jordan Davis to be. That's what I expect. Do your job at the line of scrimmage. Take up space. Allow Jalen Carter, allow Bryce Huff, allow Josh Sweat to be able to get one-on-one matchups. They're going to win those 8, 9 times out of 10. Jalen Carter, good luck stopping a one-on-one. Josh Sweat, same thing. Good luck stopping a one-on-one. Jordan Davis has to take up space. He has to take up space. He has to be able to get off blocks and attack the ball carrier at the line of scrimmage. He has to completely shift the way teams run on the Philadelphia Eagles. He has to make the running back hesitate. That split second of hesitation is everything. So Jordan Davis, I don't need you to beat Fletcher Cox, but I need you to be a professional. I need you to be in shape. And the Philadelphia Eagles, more than anybody, forget me, the Philadelphia Eagles need you to be reliable, to be trusted. That's what it is. Now, Jalen Carter, again, came in rookie season, made a name for himself, came second in Defensive Rookie of the Year voting, made the 2023 NFL All-Rookie team. First season, played 16 games, 33 total tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 9 quarterback hits, 6 sacks, 1 TD with a fumble recovery, 2 forced fumbles. Not bad for a rookie season, especially when you're only playing 51% of the snaps. Not bad. Not bad. That actually reminds me of Fletcher Cox's rookie year. Fletcher Cox's rookie year, he played 52% of the snaps and put up similar stats. Fletcher Cox in his rookie year, 39 total tackles, 8 TFLs, 10 quarterback hits, 5.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 3 pass deflections. Jalen Carter, 33 combined tackles, 8 TFLs, 9 quarterback hits, 6 sacks, a TD, a fumble recovery, 2 forced fumbles. Those 2 seasons are pretty similar. Fletcher Cox and Jalen Carter's rookie seasons. So can Jalen Carter be the one to supplant Fletcher Cox? When I look at Fletcher Cox, or when I look at Jordan Davis, I say aim for Fletcher Cox. Aim for that. If Jalen Carter can aim high enough and even land on a Fletcher Cox career, the pick was well worth it. What would you guys say to that? Well, Jalen Carter's skill set and everything we expect him to be, Jalen Carter, if he aims high enough and he lands on a Fletcher Cox type of career, that's a win. That's a win. Kyle Kokorski says, I'm fine with that. Troll King Gaming says, you're right, Tone. Fitness Warrior says, I agree. Michelle Sigliano says, I think they still need a solid veteran in the middle. I think you're actually right, Michelle. I wouldn't mind having an OG defensive tackle in the building. Maybe somebody early 30s. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't. I'm not against that, actually, Michelle. That's a good pull by you, because I've thought about the future of, not just the future, but I've thought about that position presently, and Davis and Carter, still very young guys, 24 and 23 years old, respectively. They do have an uphill climb. Michelle Sigliano also says, I think Jalen is going to be better than Cox, Jalen Carter. It's a possibility. It's entirely possible. Entirely. You know, let's make that clear as well. It's entirely possible Jalen Carter has a better career than Fletcher Cox. But if he lands on a Fletcher Cox type of career, again, we have high expectations for him. But if he lands on a Fletcher Cox type of career, I think we can all be happy about that, regardless of our expectation. Matt Weeks says, I've seen people saying that we're monitoring Josh Allen from the Jaguars. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Fitness Warrior says, as long as we get the rotation right, we will definitely do well. Man, can football start tomorrow? I'm kind of feeling forward too. But I think you bring up a good point, Fitness Warrior. I think the Philadelphia Eagles rotation is what was lacking in 2023. I don't think they had a solid enough rotation just on the defensive line. I didn't like the way they rotated edge rushers, and I felt like Jalen Carter probably could have been on the field more. I hate the fact that we relied so heavily on Fletcher Cox. Not saying he wasn't doing his thing, because Fletcher Cox was a pro. But he gave you 5 sacks in a retirement year. I like that. I like that. 5 sacks in 15 games. That's a 33% chance of getting a sack every game. I like those odds. With 17 quarterback hits through 15 games. For people that are just hopping into the live stream, what's good? Hope you guys are doing great. We have 45 people on the YouTube side. We have 42 people on the X side. I really appreciate you guys for rocking with me, staying as consistent as you guys have been. It's pretty awesome. And also, real quick, I almost forgot. So sorry, Corey. Almost forgot about this. Corey Allen said with the $1.99 super chat, he said Jordan Davis can hold Fletcher's beer. Stop, Tone. Oh, he can't. He can't. Okay, he can't. Got it. Jordan Davis can't hold Fletcher's beer. Well, here's the thing, man. You know, I'm not asking him to hold his beer. I'm asking Jordan Davis to at least be able to bring something to the party. Bring something to the party. Bring something up. Bring something to the party of some real sustenance, right? Again, Jordan Davis, I'm not looking for him to be a Fletcher Cox. That's not what I'm expecting. I do expect him to be a pro and be somebody that can be relied on. I do expect that. But I don't expect him to be the player he was. I don't expect Jordan Davis to be the player Fletcher Cox was. I expect him to be just as professional, but I want him to play his game and give us the best version of him because he's bigger and super athletic. And again, if he can give you 5 sacks, if he can, I'm not asking for it though, but if he can, I'm not going to deny him. I'll take those. That's a cherry on top. I'm looking for him to control the line of scrimmage. That's what I want. But thank you again, my man Corey, for donating to the channel. Oh, man. As Blunt says, Calais Campbell will be a solid vet. Calais Campbell is an interesting player because they always listed him as a D end, but that dude is as big as he's a house. Calais Campbell, 6'8", 282. See, that's what I'm saying. He's always been listed as a defensive end, but he can play D tackle. Calais Campbell, 37 years old. He's put in some time for real. Calais Campbell came in the league in 08. He came in the league in 08. He put some time in for real. But and his most decorated years came in his late to mid 30s. But I don't know. I got this feeling Calais Campbell over 100 sacks for his career. Man, that's gnarly. That's gnarly. But granted, he's been playing 9, 12, 15, 16. He's going into his 17th season. He's going into his 17th season. And has been fairly healthy for the most part of his career. I wouldn't mind bringing in a Calais Campbell. I wouldn't mind at all. As Blunt says, Cowboys will not trade Parsons to us. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Twiz says, damn, Tone, that's 2 things I said and you didn't read. Campbell and rotation. You hating. No, I got the rotation thing from you. What are you talking about, Twiz? I got it from you. I probably didn't say your name, though. But I got it from you. Yo, fitness. Fitness boy. He says, I'll sign him 2 weeks before the playoffs. I ain't mad at it, man. Checo says, bringing Campbell is bad. Taking snaps away from Young Bucks. Well, here's the thing. I like your mindset, though. Checo, I do like your mindset. But Calais Campbell, again, he's a strange bird because he's huge, but he's like 282. So he's really a defensive end. I don't know if Calais Campbell. I don't know. I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed to it, but at the same time, I'm not like lockstep in it as well. I see Calais Campbell as a guy that can definitely provide some nice depth. But to your point, Checo, right? To your point, and I don't think this has anything to do with Nolan because again, with Calais Campbell's size, they probably will use him inside, outside, all over the place. But again, regardless though, you do want to get your young guys reps. You do want to get those young guys ready and prepared, and you don't want to waste time. Also, by the way, you guys, really quickly, I need to say this before we get too far ahead. We've been live for about 37 minutes, going on 37 minutes. Look, so in my area, I'm experiencing some major thunderstorms, heavy, strong wind warning, you know what I mean? Like borderline gust and tornadoes, things like that. And I'm also experiencing um, a little bit of hail. So, God forbid if my power goes out. It already went out once earlier. That's why it took me so long to get back up to get on here. But hopefully it doesn't go out at all and we'll be able to finish our live stream and really finish it on a strong note. But just keep in mind here, I am experiencing some weather turbulence here for sure. All right. Oh, wow. That sounds like it's a fight going on outside between the gods. Battle of the gods going on. But I do agree that these young guys got to get going. You got to develop Moro Jomo. You got to develop you have to continue to develop Marlon T and Milton Williams. You definitely got to develop Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis more. Nolan Smith definitely has to get his snaps. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. I get it. Matt Weeks says, not going to lie, I took shots once I found out we finally let Quez go because I was so happy he finally going. Yeah, Quez is with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and there's no guarantee he even makes the roster, so he has to fight for that. But they did trade away one of their receivers, so we'll see how it goes over there. But look, I hope he sticks around over there. Look, even though Quez didn't give us what we exactly wanted from him, I hope he lands on his feet. I really do. I really do. I really hope he lands on his feet. I don't wish any harm on the brother. I want him to be able to pay his bills and so on and so forth. So, if Quez ends up having a solid year with the Steelers, more power to him. He can get more money in his pocket. Function, welcome to the live stream, my friend. He says, I'm glad we went young. Defense should be fast and hungry this year. It's so funny you say that. Again, the defense, I think they do need to get. Well, the Philadelphia Eagles, they're one of the younger teams in the league in terms of average age. The average age of the Philadelphia Eagles is like 26, something like that. I think their average age on the roster. But, this Fletcher Cox's retirement, it just puts a lot of pressure on some of these young guys. It gets them a lot of quality reps. And Fitness Warrior, you're right as well. The corners are a hop, skip, and a jump from the group home. I say that in jest. But again, I'm really, really looking forward to this upcoming season. I like that the defense is younger. I like that you're putting a lot of the onus on these young guys. Sometimes when you got young guys mixed with these veterans that can be trusted, you got young guys who kind of take their foot off the gas a little bit. But the reality is you want those young guys on the field, come hell or high water. You want them to learn. They got to learn. You got to learn. Troll King, he says the hip drop tackle ban basically makes Bradbury and Slay, etc., washed. They too slow, can't keep up with anyone. That's what makes me nervous. Yeah, one of my biggest fears is Darius Slay falls off a major cliff. That's a concern. We don't talk about that much. We got 100 people on the live stream, 50 on YouTube, 50 on X/Twitter. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Shout out to my Twitter family. Shout out to the YouTube family. Make sure you guys are smashing that like button on the way in, and make sure you guys are hitting it on the way out. It really helps the content grow. Thank you. Thank you, guys. We got over 50 people on the YouTube side and only 29 likes. Come on, y'all. Come on, man. We're better than this. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Thank you. But I agree, Troll King. I am concerned about the defense in terms of Darius Slay and Bradbury not falling off a cliff. I mean, we kind of already saw Bradbury fall off, but he's trying to work his way back up. But here's the thing. He's free climbing. James Bradbury not just trying to climb back up the mountain with some bungees. That dude is free climbing. He taking the hard way up. And I don't know if he'll make it up. I really don't. I have no idea if he'll make it up. But PFT, my brother. I'm telling you, man, Darius Slay, I pray to God he don't fall off a cliff. Because sometimes it sneaks up on you. Sometimes it can sneak up on you. I'm a big Trent Cole fan too, my guy. I'm a big Trent Cole fan too. Function says CJ will make Slay more physical this season. You know, CJ he covered up a lot a couple years ago. He took a lot of pressure off of Bradbury and Slay. He played with speed. He played with aggression. He was fearless out there. He was very reactionary to the ball, had good instincts, made a lot of plays for the Philadelphia Eagles, flipped the field a ton of times for the Philadelphia Eagles. That can do everything for the production of your offense. That can do everything. But if I may go back to how we started this show, the linebackers and the DBs can't do their job without a competent defensive line. Most notably, can't do their job without a competent defensive tackle crew. And the Eagles officially lost maybe top 3, top 2 Eagles defensive tackle of all time in Fletcher Cox. And now it's up to Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter to officially take up the mantle. And another thing too, you know, I got this feeling that BG, granted, he's in his last season, but I got this feeling BG not just here to play. He's not here just to be along. I got a feeling BG is going to hold guys accountable even more. And I have a feeling that he's going to be walking around the building trying to find the next leader, trying to find the guys who are not going to run away from the smoke when it's time to run into the burden building. See, that's the thing about when your OGs retire and you got a new crop of guys coming in. You have to your organizational culture has to be so tight, has to be so firm, has to be concrete, because as the old blood phases out and the new blood fades in, sometimes guys' personalities can shift the culture in a good way or a bad way. And I'm not saying that's going to happen with the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I'm saying is BG, he said it on ESPN when he was a guest host. He made it very clear that he is going to be searching for guys that are ready and willing to take up the leadership role. Fletcher Cox is gone. Jason Kelsey is gone. BG is going to retire after this season. Lord knows when Lane Johnson will decide to hang it up. Lord knows. So this season is going to be so pivotal in terms of how they handle adversity, how disciplined Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter especially can be. Will Josh Sweat be able to step up as a leader on the defensive line? MJS, I wouldn't jump the gun on that. MJS says the D-line is the least of my worries on defense. The D-line is coming off of having one of their worst runs we've seen. So maybe you're not worried about it, but at the very least, you should be paying close attention. Because that defensive line, in my humble opinion, has lost some level of credibility. They've lost some level of credibility. If the Eagles' defensive line's credibility was here, Fletcher Cox retiring drops them a little bit. And I know saying that may rub a lot of you the wrong way. And that might actually get a lot of you guys riled up. Again, if you can do me a favor, smash that like button in the process. But as of today, the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line has lost a bit of credibility. And that is because Fletcher Cox retired. That's because that defensive line is coming off of one of their worst stretches that we've seen in a long time. And yes, obviously a lot happened. A lot happened with the coaching changes and all that kind of stuff. A lot went down. I'm not trying to imply only what things went wrong for one particular reason. A plethora, a breadbasket of reasons is why the Philadelphia Eagles did not make it to their destination. But if we look at the D-line in the vacuum, if we look at the D-line as a whole, you traded Hassan Reddick, Fletcher Cox retired. You brought in Bryce Huff. Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter are going to step up along with Milton Williams, Marlon T, Moro Ujomo. You got Josh Sweat. You restructured him, gave him some more money up front. Nolan Smith, well, he turned up to be a player, right? BG, the vet, coming back. At the end of the day, no matter how uncomfortable this may make you, the fact of the matter is the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line has lost some level of credibility up to this point. If the D-line's credibility was here, losing Fletcher Cox brought you here. Losing Hassan Reddick dropped you even more. So now this defensive line has to find a way to prove that they can be just as good, if not better, without those two gentlemen. And I think that's a reasonable conversation to have. I think that is a very reasonable conversation to have. Travis Ryken, he says Carter and Davis are going to change your mind this year. Here's the thing. My mind doesn't need to be changed because my position is that they will live up to expectation. That's what I want to happen. That's my goal. That's my hope, right? I want these guys to do well. I'm not out here saying Jordan Davis is cooked. I'm not calling Jordan Davis a bust. I've never called him that at one time. You can't find me on any platform or on any show where I've called, not saying you saying I said that, but I'm just saying, I've never looked at Jordan Davis as a bust. Not yet, at least. I'm not there yet. I'm not there at all. I'm not there. But I am going to acknowledge the responsibility that is required in their role. I am going to acknowledge the pressure they're now under. Just because I acknowledge their reality doesn't mean I'm completely ignoring the prospects of their success. The prospects of their success does not take away from their reality. And their reality doesn't take away from the prospects of their success. They're not mutually exclusive. I believe Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis will have good to great seasons this year. That's what I believe. I believe Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter will have good to great seasons this year, respectively. But that does not eliminate from the fact that I'm looking at the details. I'm looking at what we do know. I'm looking at what we have seen. And what we have seen is Jordan Davis have two inconsistent seasons back to back. That is a fact. What we've witnessed, what we know, what's in reality, what's on wax is Jordan Davis has had an inconsistent rookie and second year. What's on wax for Jalen Carter is that although he came out hot, he hit a wall. And now he has to extend that motor. He has to find that second and third wind. Excuse me. Milton Williams, he now moves up to the 3-hole. Milton Williams has normally been in the 4-hole. He's kind of bounced in between the 4 and 3-hole throughout his career. But Milton Williams will get more snaps now. He's going to get more. He will get more snaps this year. Moro Ojomo, Marlon T, they will get more snaps this year. So although I'm optimistic and I expect them to do well, I also have to acknowledge where they are and where they've been. And that's how you avoid making mistakes in life. Knowing where you've been, understanding where you are, and having a strong idea of where you're going. I think Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and Milton Williams and the other young guys, Moro Ojomo, Marlon T, who knows what PJ Mustafa will provide. But it's time to put that work in now. It's time to decide what side of the fence you on now. It's time that you lock in and say, hey, this our shit now. We the big dogs now. This defense is dependent on us now. Fletcher Cox not going to beat to your left or to your right no more. What say you? How do you want to be remembered? What legacy do you want to leave? It's going to be so pivotal for Vic Fangio to get the best out of these guys. It's going to be so fascinating to see Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter operate in this Vic Fangio-like system. What is Vic Fangio's system? Troll King, he says, hey, Tone, just got to say you do a great job. You're realistic and respectful of all players, and you're lit. He said, that's why I say, Tone, your name is badass. Hey, listen, Troll King, I appreciate the love, my guy. Thank you. I really do. I appreciate the love, my guy. Function says, time to put that work in. Pick a side, no cap. Winners or not. Big facts. Big facts. Are we winners or not? Are we aiming for pole position or not? Do you want to be great or do you just want to be average? And let me make this clear too. As much as I share my opinions about what these players should do, The reality is they are in a very unique situation, a situation that I am not privy to, and I have no idea what it's like to be an NFL pro. I have no idea what it's like to have to get yourself up at 4 or 5 in the morning and do 2-a-day workouts and just to keep your body maintained and right throughout the off season and being disciplined with your diet. And my role doesn't depend on my physicality being in peak form. As a commentator, as a sports enthusiast, my physical traits or abilities and conditioning, the success of this show is not predicated on that. But the success of Jalen Carter, the success of Jordan Davis, the success of that defense as a whole, predicated on them being in peak physical form, predicated on their technique being lockstep. And I have no idea what it's like, what it takes to make it to that level. I have no idea. But all I do is try to come to you guys from a respectful position. All I try to do is address the players from a respectful angle and say, listen, although I may not know what it's like to be you, I've seen players drafted where you were drafted or have similar circumstances or maybe given less opportunity in the NFL, and they live up to expectations. If not, they surpass them. So all I try to do is when I talk about players and what they should do, I'm only thinking about it from the perspective of what I've seen in the league, what I've experienced watching this game, what I've experienced watching the Philadelphia Eagles be who they are. Like Function said, pick a side. Are we winning or not? Fitness Warrior says, Tone, how successful does our defense have to be to at least compete for a Super Bowl? It's a good question. That's a really, really good question. I'm going to keep that on the screen. How successful does the Philadelphia Eagles defense have to be to at least compete for a Super Bowl? Hey, Twiz, are you asking me or are you stating? Are you asking, am I really expecting to win it all this year with new coaches? Expectations are great, but are we being unrealistic? Oh, so you're asking. Okay. I got you, Twiz. I'm going to get to that, Twiz. That's a good question. But Fitness Warrior, again, you ask a very poignant question. How good does the defense have to be? I say top 12. I say top 12. Look at it. Okay. Look at it this way. Right? 14 teams make the playoffs this year. Well, every year. 14 teams make the playoffs, right? 7 and 7. 7 from the NFC, 7 from the AFC. 14 teams total. So, in my humble opinion, if you're going to be a playoff level defense, I think at the very least you have to be top 14. Again, 14 teams make the playoffs. At the very least, your defense, at the worst, your defense has to be top 14. That's how I do the math in my head. Twiz says top 15. I'm gonna roll with top 14 because that's the playoff. That's the amount of teams in the playoffs. I'm gonna say top 14, but pretty much the same thing, Twiz. I feel you on that. But this is funny. Fitness Warrior, your question goes right into Twiz's question. He says, Tone, are you really expecting to win it all this year with new coaches? Expectations are great, but are we being unrealistic? I mean, it's been done. You still got the same head coach. You just got some new coordinators. That's all. Got the same head coach. You just got some new pieces. But to your point, though, I don't know if the Philadelphia Eagles will win the Super Bowl. I don't know if they will, but I firmly believe if this defense, if this defense can be competent, I think they should very much be competing. They should be competing for a Super Bowl, competing for the NFC Championship at the very least. All right, let's see. Corey says, how many push-ups can you do in 60 seconds? That's a good question. I never actually time myself. That's a good question. I might do that. That's a good question. I'll get back to you on that, Corey. I'll get back to you on that. I never gave it much thought. Jason 18, miss you every 11 to 2 Tone. Yeah, sorry about that, man. New schedule, so gotta make some adjustments on my part. But yeah, man, for the most part, I'm going to be live on the back end of the day. So sorry about that. But I'm glad you're here, man. Glad you're here. Travis Ryken says, yo, how many playoffs we gonna be in every year? We like the Heat. Hey, listen, man, the Heat, they stay in it. They a team you gotta respect. Matt Weeks, if Nick doesn't help us get ring number 2 this year, I think he's done here in Philly. That's an interesting question too, by the way, right? How far does Nick Sirianni have to take the Philadelphia Eagles for his job to be safe? How far does he have to take them? NFC Championship, Super Bowl, divisional round. How far does Nick Sirianni and the Philadelphia Eagles need to go for Nick Sirianni's job to be safe? Jason says the bowl. Fitness Warrior says, I will say at least the NFC Championship. Troy says, you know the answer. He said, you know the answer. Twist says, I don't know if it's how far we go. It's about how competitive we are. Nah, Twist. Nah, you settling for the low-hanging fruit. We're not the damn Titans, or we not the Commanders. We're not looking to be competitive. What? Being competitive is the bare minimum. Trying to win some hardware. You feel me? And also think about it from this perspective. They put a lot of money into that offense. They spent a lot of money this offseason. A lot of it. And we're going to sit here and pretend like the pressure ain't on. The pressure is very much on. So to y'all point, when Troy says you know the answer, I think he's right. I think I do know the answer. I think Nick Sirianni has to be bare minimum in the NFC Championship game, and they can't get blown out. If they lose, it has to be like by a field goal or something. But Nick Sirianni is gonna. He can't. I'm sorry. He can't settle for anything less than the NFC Championship game. He can't. Dan Kwan says, if you're in the dance, you have a chance. I'd rather be in the Eagle situation than these other teams with 10+ year droughts. Reasonable. Yeah, being in the dance, anything can happen. That's the thing. That's the one thing about the NFL playoffs. Once you get in, anything can happen. It's one and done. It doesn't matter if you're a number 1 seed or a number 2 seed. If a team catches you at the right moment, your ass is grass. So Dan Quan, I do understand your perspective. Just being in the dance, there's a lot of weight that comes with that. Matt Weeks says it's definitely about how far we go, and I'm gonna stand on it. I'm gonna stand on that. If he don't help us get back to the bowl and win ring number 2 this year, if not, goodbye, Nick. This is interesting. I almost forgot about my man S. Blunt. He donated a super chat about 15 or 18 minutes ago. My bad, my man. He says, $30 million plus in cap space. One move you would want. One move I would want. $30+ million in cap space. A move that I would want. That's a good question. One move that I would want. $30+ million. I'll be honest. I want a legitimate corner. See, I would have loved to have actually brought in like a legitimate linebacker, a guy that we can all unequivocally say, oh, yeah, he's the guy. But I wouldn't mind a nice sign and trade to solidify that DB room. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind at all. Bradley Chubb is coming off of a pretty significant injury. I'm cool off that. Thank you again, S. Blunt, for donating to the channel. I think I would, I think I would probably add to the DB room. That's probably what I would do. Kyle Kokorski says, Tone, I'm hearing Eagles might be trading for Surtain on draft night. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. That'd be intense. Y'all think that's really possible? Fitness Warrior says, Tone, how can we say goodbye to Nick if he's just the manager? Reasonable. If the culture is good, we play discipline and perform well and get to the NFC Championship, how can we fire him? Well, remember, I said I think he has to get. Remember, I think I said this to you guys. He has to make it to the NFC Championship, bare minimum. He has to. He has to. Because, he's, regardless, he's under tremendous pressure this year. But they've done such an amazing job. They've done such an amazing job insulating him. They've done such a good job insulating Nick Sirianni that it's going to be hard for you to really gauge what his contributions are. That's the tough part. All right. All right. So, yeah, I think I think overall, though, Nick is he's in the situation where it's going to be hard for us to even judge him. It's going to be hard. My man Corey Allen said something very interesting. He said, fuck them picks. Go all in. Ah, man. I feel you. I kind of feel you though. I kind of feel you. If you got a chance to get Pat Surtain, I'm taking that shot. I'll figure it out later. I'm figuring it out later. If I got a chance to get Pat Surtain, I'll figure it out later. As Blunt says, that's the Rams move. I can't wait till football either, James. I cannot wait. I cannot wait, my man. But overall, for my people that are just joining the live stream, I'll do a quick reset for you guys that are just joining the live stream. Again, we got over 120 people locked in. We got 60 people on the Twitter side. I'm sorry, we got 61 people on the X side. We got 60 people on the YouTube side. If you guys could do me the quick favor, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. You know what I'm saying? We doing it big over here. The channel's growing fast and furious, and I'm so glad that you guys are truly a part of this thing that we're building here. I don't take it for granted. The show is nothing without the people, and understand that you have power. So smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, and make sure you hit that notification bell. That notification bell, it reminds you every time I go live. It reminds you whenever I drop new content. So make sure you guys hit that. It's right next to the subscribe button. It's like a little bell. You hit that, notification is going to be turned on. And make sure you guys don't miss a show. Mama, what's going on, Mom Dukes? Appreciate you. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. You know how we give it up. CEP. You dig me? But yes. Patrick Surtain, let's look up his contract situation right now. Let's just look it up. Let's just make sure we're talking accurately. Let's just make sure we're speaking accurately about his situation here. So here's the rub. So Patrick Surtain, let's put this on the screen here to make sure we're all tuned in. All right, let's put this on the screen here. All right. So this is Patrick Surtain's contract situation here. So he's entering the 4th year of his rookie deal. Only has a $6.66 million cap hit. And then in 2025, in 2025, you have to decide. Actually, as a matter of fact, here's the thing. Here's where things get funny, right? Organizations have until the first week of May to decide if they're going to pick up the 5th-year option for their 2021 rookies. Every first rounder that was drafted in the 2021 draft, every team has to decide if they're going to pick up the 5th-year option for those respective players. That means Jalen Waddle, Jamar Chase, Patrick Surtain, J.C. Horn, Devontae Smith, Micah Parsons, all those heavy hitters, Kadarius Toney, all those kind of guys. Who else was in that draft class? Can't remember. But nonetheless, you trade for Pat Surtain, you have to pick up the 5th-year option, and then you got to restructure and extend. That's the smartest thing you can do. That's the smartest thing you can do. If you trade for him, pick up the 5th-year option, restructure, extend. But again, I don't know how plausible that is. I don't know how realistic a Patrick Surtain trade to the Philadelphia Eagles is. Does it sound good? Does it sound exciting? It sure does. But how realistic is it? How realistic is it? It all remains to be seen. But Patrick Surtain will instantly make the Eagles defense better. And that will tell us very quickly what they plan on doing with James Bradbury. Mom Dukes with the 1999 super chat. Thank you, Mama. Really appreciate you for locking in. You get some rest. I know it's late there on the East Coast, so I appreciate you, Mama, for donating to the channel. It means a lot. It means a lot, Mama. Thank you so much. My man, LC. My guy. Appreciate you, my man. Always love you, man. But yeah, if I can reset really quickly. If I can reset really quickly. Fletcher Cox officially announced his retirement today. And life beyond the Fletcher Cox era is going to be truly interesting to watch. It's going to be really interesting to see how it pans out. Because overall, I think Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, I think they can step up. I think they can. But they have to go out there and prove it. Jalen Carter got to stay focused on the game, focused on being great, focused on getting better. Jordan Davis got to focus on that motor, guy. Got to get that motor running. Got to find that second and third wind. It's a lot of pressure on these young guys. Milton Williams included, Marlon T. See, Marlon T and Milton Williams, they played with Fletch for like the past 3 or 4 years. They played with Fletch for a nice chunk of change. You know what I'm saying? Moro, Jomo, Jalen Carter, you know, they only played with Fletch for 1 year. Jordan Davis played with him for 2 years. But combined, they've all accumulated. They've all accumulated a plethora of experience watching a guy like Fletcher Cox do his thing. But they got to put up or shut up. Flat out. The Philadelphia Eagles are depending on those guys. So, am I optimistic about their performance? Yes. Does Jordan Davis's past 2 seasons concern me? Yes. Do I expect Jalen Carter to have a Fletcher Cox type of career or better? Yes. Do I expect Jordan Davis to come in and put up 6, 7, 8 sack seasons? No. If he even falls on 4 or 5, I'll roll with it. But what I am expecting, I'm expecting Jordan Davis to control the line of scrimmage, control the action, free up guys, take up space, and allow guys to be put in one-on-one situations so they have a higher probability of reaching their target, a la the quarterback or the ball carrier. These guys are the now, they're the future. If you ask me today, Tone, are you picking up Jordan Davis's 5th-year option? I had to say no today. Today. Can that opinion change? Absolutely. Absolutely. But as of today, I can't pick up that fifth-year option. Today, I can't. And that's my mindset about that. Jason A-Team says, I'm going to miss Fletch with that sack crawl, man. Yeah, moving like a sniper. It's going to be dope to see. It's going to be, well, it's going to be unfortunate we ain't going to be able to see that much. As Blunt says, with 30 million plus in cap space, a move will happen, either corner or edge. I'm willing to agree with that. I think the Philadelphia Eagles look at this as a win now or go home type of situation. You know, there's so much time left. Look, you guys, we're only in April. So much can go down between April and week 1 of the NFL season. Like, let that sink in for a second. So much can change for a franchise between April and week 1 of the NFL season, good or bad, or indifferent. So much can change. Like, I've really been doing some thinking about this, man. If you got the right pieces that fit and everybody's playing to a high level, you can turn your team around in 1 year. If you know what you're doing, and if you make the right moves and take calculated risk, you can turn a team around in a nice year or two. I'm not going to sit here and say it's easy, but if you know what you're doing, you put money in the right places, you build your team the right way, you put the right coaches in the building, you got the right leadership, the right veterans, you can turn a team around in a solid year or two. And the Eagles, quite frankly, they only got to turn around one side of the ball. Granted, you got some new voices with Kellen Moore, Vic Fangio, Clint Hurt on defense, Doug Nussmeier coaching the quarterbacks. But again, like as Blunt says, I expect with 30 million plus in cap, they got to be making a move. There's no way they don't. That's what I think. Troll King says we need a ring this year. Screw the waiting. I dig it. Kyle Kokorski, he says, Tone, what worries me is who's the new leader of the defense. Well, look, this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. It's all about guys coming in and setting the tone. It's all about guys coming in and saying, all right, I'm willing to take on that role. I'm willing to be that guy. I'm willing to lead the charge. Listen, man, it comes with the game, Kyle. It comes with the game. We've been spoiled to have Fletcher Cox and Jason Kelsey. We've been spoiled as a fan base. Those two gentlemen have spoiled us because they have been the creme de la creme of the position for the past decade plus. That's the thing. We have been blessed to have top tier talent and top tier production and top tier leadership on both sides of the ball in the trenches. Jason Kelsey, Fletcher Cox. So I say that to say it's very easy to take it for granted, but it's also easy to be nervous about the future beyond those players. I understand it, and it's a reasonable fear, but it's something you should welcome because now you get to see the evolution of a new era. You get to see the evolution of Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. And we're going to be able to track when and how they got to their destination, even if their destination is a positive one or a negative one, because this is the benchmark. This is the checkpoint. Fletcher Cox retires in 2024. This is the beginning of their era. So we're going to be able to track their success, and we're going to be able to track their failures efficiently and effectively because of this marker in time. If things go wrong, we're going to know exactly when and how it started and why. So, Kyle, you worrying, I understand it. It's reasonable. You have no idea what you're going to get from Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter from a leadership perspective, let alone on the defense. The fan base has lost trust in Darius Slay. That's the reality. Every time I hear somebody talk about Darius Slay from the city, it's never a good conversation. Every time I'm in these live chats and these live streams, checking in, trying to get a sense for the pulse of the people, I'm never seeing people saying positive things about Darius Slay. So even though he is a team captain, I think he's rubbed the city the wrong way over the past several months. I think that's the reality. That's not me saying either or. That's me acknowledging what I see and what I hear. So again, to Kyle's question, who's going to be the guys on defense? Yes, BG is still here, but he's probably going to give you 30, 35% of the snaps, if that. Not a starter. You know what I'm saying? In my humble opinion, your starters, your most productive players got to be your leaders. So who does that fall on? I like to start in the trenches. I know CJ is going to come in with that fire, with that energy. I know for a fact CJ going to come in with that fire. And he going to hold guys accountable. And he's going to come in with that dog eat dog mentality. It's ski mask season with CJ. So I know what he bringing to the table. I know that. I know what BG's bringing to the table. I know that. In terms of a mindset and leadership perspective, I know that. Josh Sweat, not much of a talker. So we'll see if he's willing to step up. We'll see if he'll step up as a leader. He's in a contract year, so maybe he does. You never know. We got about 20 to 30 minutes left in the show. I appreciate you guys for locking in for as long as you did. We got over 100 people in the live stream. We have 46 people on the YouTube side, 61 people on the X Twitter side. Make sure you guys smash that like button if you can. Make sure you guys stay engaged in the content. Make sure you are subscribed if you're new to the show. I really appreciate the love and the support. It goes a long way. So make sure you smash that like button. All my Twitter people, hey, I love y'all locking in, but I need y'all to lock in on the YouTube side. You feel me? I want you to lock in on the YouTube side is where it's at. I understand Twitter, you got your commentary and you get I get it. But the YouTube side is where things get tricky. So make sure you guys on the Twitter side, don't be afraid to lock in on the YouTube side. I'm grateful for you being here regardless. Don't get it twisted. I'm grateful for you being here, but that YouTube side, it hits different. That YouTube side hits different. So make sure you guys are on that side of things and make sure you smash the like button, you're subscribed, and you hit the notification bell. CJ Davis, what's good? CJ Davis says, what did he miss? Well, we talked about Fletcher Cox officially announcing his retirement. And on top of that, we've even taken it a step further to say Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, their new era has arrived. And they have no choice but to step their weight up. I'm not expecting them to be Fletcher Cox. I don't want them to even try to be the exact player he was. I want them to be the best version of themselves. Flat out. Flat out. You invested 2 first-round picks back to back between those two fellas, respectively. You gotta you gotta get your investment. Eventually, we're gonna start having to figure out if we're gonna pick up Jordan Davis's 5th-year option. Right? All that's going to come up sooner than what we think. But overall, the defense, what's going to be the identity? Where's the new leadership council on the defensive side? Not the team. Where and who is the new leadership council? I think BG is obviously in there. I think GJ is in there because of his tenacity, because of the swagger he brings. He's gonna make guys play with an edge. When you play with a guy like that, that just comes with that juice, that swagger. It fires you up. It charges you up. So who else steps up? Darius Slay, maybe. He's a captain, but I don't know where the respect level is for him right now. Could Devin White step up as a leader? It's possible. It's possible. He was a perennial team captain with the Bucks, so it's entirely possible. It's entirely possible that Devin White can step up and be a leader, but his leadership is going to be totally predicated on his production. If he's not producing, he can't lead shit. If he's not living up to his own expectation, he can't lead me to a bowl of water. But I think he will be solid. I do think that. Could Jalen Carter eventually step up as a leader? That's a good question. I'm gonna have to come back to that. I'm gonna have to come. That's an interesting statement. I'm gonna have to come back to that. As Blunt says, Nakobe Dean should, but he got to stay healthy, right? Got to stay healthy, right? Jalen Carter does need to mature. He does need to mature. That's a fact. Corey says they scared to come over here. We up in the pistol on YouTube. This is trenches. Hey, listen, man. The YouTube side ain't that crazy, man. You know, it do get fun on this side. I tell you that. So make sure you guys definitely smash the like button. Corey know what's up, man. Corey's one of my loyal subscribers. Absolutely, one of my loyal subs. I appreciate him. You got to watch out for Corey though, man. You got to watch out for him because he'll show you love and then he'll zing you. You feel me? You got to watch out for Corey. You know, he'll love on you and then he'll zing you. You know what I love? I love that Corey and Solomon got a bromance going. Y'all notice it, right? Corey and Solomon got a little bromance going. I listen, I respect it, man. I love it. I love it. We're building a community here. This is the fun part about the YouTube space. You know, I'm in here in this room, right? But I feel like y'all all here actually. I feel like, even though I'm in my studio, I'm in my office by myself, but I'm not by myself. That's the dope thing about this YouTube stuff, man. That's the dope thing. I feel like I'm sitting here chopping it up with the homies. And that's kind of what this show is a little bit. I'm going to give you guys. Oh, man, it's crazy. Yo. Oh, my God. That's crazy. Y'all funny as hell. Yo, Solomon like, hey, yo, I said no Diddy. He said, I said no Diddy, bro. What you doing? Why you doing this to me? I thought you was my OG. He said, no Diddy. You good, man? Hey, listen, ain't nothing wrong with loving on your brother, man. Ain't nothing wrong with loving on your brother, King. That's all. Oh, man. Kyle Kokorski says, Tone, if his defense becomes somewhat respectable, we can make a run. I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Corey said, nah, I got hitters, Tone. Hey, I don't want no smoke, big dog. I don't want no smoke, man. Shit. But no, I feel you though, Kyle. If the defense can be top 14, which in my opinion is respectable, if you can be top 14, I can roll with whatever comes with that. Troll King says, what are the top 5 teams pre-draft? Ooh, that's a good question. Top 5 teams pre-draft. Oh, man. That's a hell of a question. Damn, that's a good question. Top 5 teams pre-draft. I gotta say, and look, by the way, this is in no particular order, by the way, Troll King. No particular order. I'm just naming teams, okay? No particular order. I'm just naming teams. Top 5 teams pre-draft. The Ravens, the Chiefs, Ravens, Chiefs, 49ers, 49ers. Ravens, Chiefs, 49ers. I want to say Detroit. So Ravens, Chiefs, Niners, Detroit, and I'll probably say I'll tie the Texans and the Eagles around 5, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I gotta put Detroit in there. Yeah, the Texans. Yeah, Twiz. We're about the same. The Texans, I like their situation right now a lot. They added So yeah, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that, Twiz. I think I can roll with that too. Chiefs, Texans, Ravens, Winers, and Detroit. I think I can roll with that. I think the Eagles are a top 10 team for sure, but that defense, man, they got to prove a lot. My man Corey with the $1.99 super. Appreciate you, Corey, for donating to the channel twice today, my man. I appreciate it. He says, I see on your Diddy Cowboy hat shit. Hey, listen, as long as you keep paying, I'm gonna keep reading them. Corey, my dog, though, man. Yo, pause. Y'all gotta chill. Y'all talking crazy right now. Y'all talking crazy. I don't know, man. The way y'all talking, y'all sound like y'all got Diddy on speed dial. Slow down, Solomon. Slow down. Slow down. Hey, yo, Corey. First of all, I read both of your supers, man. I read the one earlier, and I read this one. Nobody paying you no mind, man. But y'all talking crazy. But shout out to my man Corey with the $1.99 super. You know what I'm saying? Eagle Slayer. I know, right? They getting too comfy. No, Solomon, the one that went crazy with it. Y'all tripping. Y'all tripping. Y'all think that cowboy hat not coming back on? Y'all, I can't wait to post my next pick with the cowboy hat. Y'all tripping. I like that shit. Y'all tripping. Y'all tripping. That cowboy hat coming back. I can't wait to throw that shit on again. I was digging that. Kyle Kokorski says, Tone, in 2000, the Rams had the worst defense. In 2001, they traded for Aeneas Williams. They went to the Super Bowl that year. Good point. Good point. Good point. That's a good point, Kyle. I like what you're thinking. Fitness Warrior says, yeah, the Brokeback DeShields is going to come back in here. Don't do it, Tone. Bro, he was in here earlier. Y'all didn't see him? He was in here earlier. Y'all didn't see him? He was in here earlier in the show. Solomon, it's over 100 people listening. I don't think nobody said. I think everybody heard me not say that. But regardless, I think this upcoming draft is going to be really going to be crazy. This upcoming draft is going to be crazy. It's going to be a movie. I really can't wait. Hey, listen, Corey. It's sisters out here too that go crazy in the cowboy hats. It's sisters out here. Don't listen, bro. When I came down Texas, I'll be honest. I didn't think I was going to see that many black people in cowboy boots and cowboy hats. Yo, let me tell you, that's a regular swag down here. I seen black people with their cowboy boots. They open carry pistols. They cowboy hats. I seen it, man. It's yo. It's out here. I seen sisters. Cowboy boots decked out. I seen it. I seen it. I'm telling you, they out here. They out here. They're out here. But yeah, where are we? Yeah, I'm about to get out of here. It's been a hell of a show. It's been fun. Like I said, real quick to do a quick recap, and also make sure you guys smash that like button. It really helps the content grow. Appreciate the love, appreciate the support. Shout out to once again To my man Corey Allen for donating twice to the channel. I appreciate him and all his antics. Thank you, Corey, for donating twice to the channel. Shout out to my OG S Blunt for donating to the channel as well. Thank you, my man. Your input is always welcomed. And shout out to my mother for donating to the channel. I appreciate her. Always love. It's a family affair. But where was I? All right, before I get out of here, where was I? Oh yeah. Yo, Dan Quan, you just reminded me, bro. My bad. You just reminded me. You just reminded me. My bad, Dan Quan. Say less. My bad. Let me get on that. Let me get on that. Pause. Where was I? All right, where were we? All right, let's do that. Let's see. All right. So where were we? So we left off on wide receiver Anaya Smith, right? So we're going to go through Christian Boyd, D tackle from Northern Iowa. We're going to go through the edge rushers, Layatu Latu from UCLA, Marshawn Nealand out of Western Michigan, Chop Robinson out of Penn State. We're going to go through those four players. We're going to go through those four players. All right. So again, we're just in Christian Boyd, Layatu Latu, Marshawn Nealand out of Western Michigan, and Chop Robinson out of Penn State. These are the four players that we're going to address today in this upcoming draft. These are, by the way, these are players that are these are players who the Philadelphia Eagles are currently hosting on visits. The list goes on, but we're going to focus on these four players today. All right, so let's get it done. So, NFL draft buzz. Let's see who we're working with here. All right. So, DT Christian Boyd. Let's pull him up. Excuse me. Okay. I'm going to have to go somewhere else to find Christian Boyd's. Oh, there it is. Okay, Christian Boyd. All right. All right. Christian Boyd, 6'4", defensive tackle, 317 pounds, out of Northern Iowa, senior, hometown Kansas City, Missouri. So this kid is a nose tackle. Okay, well, we know exactly what this defense is trying to look like. He's a nose tackle, 6'4", 317 pounds. Doesn't really have an impressive 40 and he has short arms. He's strong as hell, though. He bench pressed 38 reps of 225. So he's strong as hell, but he's based off of the 40-yard dash and the wingspan, he doesn't have he's not that fast, and he doesn't really have the longest arms. But size and just pure brute strength, he has it. Okay. Says here, in 2019, as a freshman, Christian Boyd saw action in 12 games and played a total of 236 snaps for the Panthers. He recorded 16 tackles, 4 assists, while adding 15 stops. As a pass rusher, he added 4 total pressures, which included 3 quarterback hurries, no quarterback hits, and 1 sack on the season. As a sophomore for the Northern Iowa Panthers in 2020, Christian Boyd played in 7 games and took part in 292 snaps for the Panthers. He recorded 19 tackles, 5 assists, while adding 22 stops as a pass rusher. While adding 22 stops. As a pass rusher, he chalked up 16 total pressures and 10 quarterback hurries, no quarterback hits, and 6 sacks during the year. Not bad. In 2021, as a junior, Christian Boyd played in 10 games at Northern Iowa and contributed on 329 snaps. He recorded 10 tackles, 6 assisted, while making 10 stops. As a pass rusher, he produced 8 total pressures, which included 5 quarterback hurries, no quarterback hits, and 3 sacks on the year. In 2022, as a senior, Christian Boyd logged playing time in 10 games on 590 snaps on defense. He also added 26 tackles, 9 assists, and 23 stops. As a pass rusher, he tallied 21 total pressures, which included 20 quarterback hurries, 1 quarterback hit, and no sacks on the season. And then his fifth and final year, because everybody got that COVID year. So his fifth and final year in 2023 as a senior, Boyd logged playing time in 11 games, logging in a total of a career high, actually. A career high is 631 defensive snaps. He also added 29 tackles, 12 assisted, 24 stops. As a pass rusher, he tallied 30 total pressures, which included 18 quarterback hurries, 9 quarterback hits, and 3 sacks on the season. So, I mean, he's a nose tackle. I mean, he's not expected to really rush the passer. That's not what you're getting from him, but you're getting a guy that's brute strength, brute force, and heavy hands. Let's read his strengths, though. Again, if you're just hopping in, we're reading the scouting report of Christian Boyd, defensive tackle out of Northern Iowa. He's 6'4", 317 pounds. As far as his strengths, Christian Boyd possesses the length and power to ward off offensive tackles. Arguably his best skill, due to an extraordinary burst off the snap, explodes out of his stance, demonstrating a burst upfield to slip gaps and the lateral agility once past the line to chase down the quarterback. Boyd is strong enough in the lower body to hold up at the point of attack. And Christian Boyd displays a good feel as a grappler in the phone booth, consistently getting blockers off balance before sending them to the ground. His hand use is excellent. He's strong in the upper body and consistently swats away blockers. He has violent hands and the long arms to ward off blockers. Boyd plays with a good pad level and can win with power as a bull rusher. Despite his relatively tall frame, he typically plays with a low enough pad level and natural power to push the pocket with the bull rush. So, like I said, you're getting a bulldog down there. You're getting a guy that's just pure force, pure power, heavy hands, going to kill you with the bull rush. Just extremely physical in the line of scrimmage with an explosive get off. Now, The weaknesses. Doesn't have many. But it says here, Christian Boyd has to win early in the pass rush, as Boyd lacks a go-to counter. He also can be slow to locate the ball on misdirection plays. Okay, that's reasonable. And he lacks the speed to chase down plays from behind. Yeah, that's clear. He's somebody man, you got him out there. You better hope nobody get behind him. Pause. He also shows some stiffness, pause, when trying to bend the edge, often getting pushed past the pocket. He seems more comfortable countering backside, pause. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Let's see. He also shows some where was okay. Boyd isn't a true edge burner and might be better off kicking inside on passing downs. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't expect him to be an edge rusher, and nah, or D end. I mean, I wouldn't expect that. So, I mean, these weaknesses are reasonable, reasonable for sure. But most of his weaknesses are more so speed based, right? And not having a deep bag of moves. So, but I mean, he's a power guy as a nose tackle. You're not really asking him to rush the passer. You want him to stop the run. If he happens to get to the quarterback, that's cool. Um, Interesting prospect for sure. Interesting prospect for sure. So again, that was Christian Boyd, 6'4", D tackle at 317 pounds out of Northern Iowa, the Northern Iowa Panthers. And he is 20. Where's his age? It's not on here. Nonetheless, he's probably 23 or 24. He's probably 23. Anyway, let's go to our next product. So, edge rusher Laiatu Latu. Let's see. Here we go. Laiatu Latu, 6'5", 259. Edge rusher. Went to UCLA. Measurables off the charts. Coming off of a 13 sack season with 49 total tackles and 2 forced fumbles. Okay, here we go. So, when it comes to Laiatu Lotu's measurables, 6'5", good height. 40-yard dash, 4.64, great speed with a 1.62 10-yard split. Arm span, hands, weight, pretty much average for his position, for his height, pretty much average. Broad jump, average. He's considered a 4-star athlete across the board. His draft projection is first round, mid to maybe in that 13 to 18 range. Played in 36 college games, over 1,100 snaps. They compare him to Kayvon Thibodeau, George Karlaftis, and Jalen Phillips. Wow. All right. How old is this guy? It says Laiatu Latu emerged as a top-tier defensive prospect from Jesuit High School, earning a 4-star rating from ESPN and 24/7 Sports. His collegiate journey began at the University of Washington, where as a freshman he played in 12 games, tallying 10 tackles, 4 assists, and 7 stops, alongside 5 quarterback hurries and 2 sacks. After a neck injury in 2020 and a brief medical retirement, Latu transferred to UCLA. Cleared to play, he returned to the field with a dominant sophomore season. In 2022, he took part in 446 snaps across 12 games, amassing 20 tackles, 3 assisted, 23 stops, 52 total pressures, and 11 sacks, underscoring his capability as an edge rusher. Latu's performance earned him first-team All-Pac-12 honors and the College Football Comeback Player of the Year award. His season highlights include leading UCLA with 12.5 tackles for loss and 10.5 sacks, earning the Pac-12 Player of the Week after a standout game against Colorado. I mean, Colorado don't have an offensive line, but okay. Now, here are Latu's strengths. Where are we? I do have concerns about Latu's neck, though. I do have concerns about that injury. A guy who's had to deal with neck injuries in college already, I'm concerned about that. I'm concerned about that. Hmm. Hmm. Y'all gotta chill with the y'all gotta chill with all that. Anyway, where was I? So, the scouting report. Here are Latu's strengths. He boasts a robust frame with the requisite length and athleticism needed for an edge role, employing both 2-point and 3-point stances effectively. Exhibits impressive initial burst off the line, utilizing his quickness to gain the edge, combined with power to unbalance attacks. Demonstrates lateral agility and an elusive nature, making it challenging for offensive linemen to engage and maintain blocks. Utilizes a diverse set of rush moves with advanced hand techniques, allowing him to disengage and navigate past blockers consistently. Shows commendable body control at the rush apex, adeptly redirecting to quarterbacks who step up in the pocket. Creates mismatches inside against guards on passing downs with his quickness and relentless pursuit of the quarterback. Though more suited to zone, he can drop into coverage, displaying good instincts. However, may be limited in man coverage due to change of direction constraints. Instinctive playmaker with a persistent motor, frequently forcing turnovers and disrupting offensive momentum. So he's a game wrecker. I mean, he's a guy that's going to wreck the game. He's a guy that's going to make you uncomfortable. He's a guy that has all the physical abilities you want. But the injury, I get concerned when guys experience injuries, to the nape, to their neck. That concerns me a lot. I don't care when you have the injury. All right, let's get to his weaknesses now. So Latu, he displays, let's see. Okay, his weaknesses. Displays just adequate athleticism relative to NFL standards for edge rushers, which may limit his ceiling at the professional level. Arm length is average, potentially hindering his ability to keep blockers at bay and control engagements on the edge. Run defense occasionally suffers from lapses in awareness, requiring refinement in diagnosing and reacting to run plays. Struggles to disengage from blockers in the run game, a skill that needs development to contend with NFL caliber offensive linemen. Medical history poses a significant risk, introducing a variable that could impact his draft stock and durability concerns. Yeah, man, I have my own concerns too. I can't even lie about it. But he clearly, talent clearly isn't the issue, but you know, I struggle. You know, I don't. Dan Quan says, you know who else who had a neck issue? DK. That's a good point. I mean, but here's the thing though. Latu was an edge rusher. DK Metcalf, he's not facing contact on every single play. It's different. It's different. Dan Quan is very different. Playing in the trenches, you constantly, you constantly in close quarters. You constantly going back and forth. I'm concerned about him. Me personally, I'm concerned about him. I'm definitely concerned about him. I don't know. Call me crazy, but I don't trust his face. Call me crazy, but I don't trust him. This may sound baseless, but I don't trust him. We still don't trust you. Shout out to Metro. He could. Could is the word, but oh yeah, Eagle Slayer. I heard about that. Yeah. He fractured destroying. He fractured his neck on the tackle. Yeah, okay. You a kicker, dog. Stupid. It's the UFL. And you're a kicker. You should be lucky to be there. What you tackling dudes for? Stupid. All right, let's go to the next guy. Marshawn Nealand, Western Michigan. All right, here we go. Marshawn Nealand, edge rusher out of Western Michigan. 6'3", 267. Okay. So height, average for the position. Weight, pretty much average for the position, just above average. Hands below average. Arm length and 40-yard dash time above average. Great wingspan, so he has long arms, which helps with his ability to get off the block. Shuttle and 3-cone, great. Vertical and broad jump, good. His 10-yard split wasn't that good, but it's not that much of a drop off. So I mean, in the bench press, not that average. It's average. His bench press was average. But again, those are just the combine stuff. That's just the Pro Bowl. The what is it? Yeah, the combine stuff. So, all right, let's find out what we got here. Ranked as a 2-star athlete, projected to go in the 3rd round. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's go to Nealand's strengths. So this is Marshawn Nealand, edge rusher out of Western Michigan. 6'3", over 260 pounds. Okay. Marshawn Nealand boasts an NFL-ready frame with impressive strength and long arms, enabling effective point of attack and edge setting against the run. High motor player, capable of achieving coverage sacks and maintaining high performance throughout games. I like that. Skilled bull rusher with good pad level and leg drive, adept at collapsing the pocket against offensive tackles. Demonstrates remarkable versatility and agility, effectively adapting to various defensive positions and strategies. Consistently generates pocket pressure, excelling in both bull rushes and counter moves against opponents. Exhibits excellent run defense capabilities, leveraging strength and agility to disrupt offensive schemes. Commendable work ethic and determination, often making hustle plays that highlight his relentless pursuit of the ball. Alignment versatility allows for effective play of multiple defensive schemes, enhancing team adaptability. This guy may be a sleeper. This guy may be a sleeper for real. Motor is off the charts, relentless pass rusher, solid in the run game, knows how to use his hands, versatile. He may be a sleeper. Here are his weaknesses, though. He lacks elite athleticism, with a tendency towards clunky movements and limited burst off the line. Struggles with hand usage and pass rushing, needing refinement to effectively disengage from blockers. Okay, could coach that. Has room for improvement in finishing tackles in the backfield, occasionally missing opportunities for loss. Okay, that just means he's over pursuing a bit, and he needs to hit the brakes. That's what that tells me. He's got to hit the brakes a little bit. Faces challenges in maintaining point of attack when positioned with his hand down, highlighting a need for strength conditioning. Okay, we can work on that. While possessing good agility, Nealon's ability to bend and execute tight corner turns could be enhanced. All right, so he's an unfinished product. Obviously, he got to get stronger. Got to work on his hand movements a little bit, but I like this guy. I think he may be a sleeper. I think he could be a player. He's projected to go in the third round. He's projected to go in the third round. That's what they're projecting. They're projecting third round. We'll see though. But overall, yeah, that was Marshawn Nealand, edge rusher out of Western Michigan, 6'3", 267 pounds. Not bad. Not bad. All right. And we're going to go to our last player of the evening. Also, by the way, make sure you guys smash that like button. Really appreciate you guys sticking around for as long as you did, kicking it with me. It's pretty cool to have you guys here. All right. The next person we got to do is Chop Robinson, even though we covered him already. You know what? Let me ask you guys a question. We already covered Chop Robinson and Edgerrin Cooper. Do you guys want me to skip to Jalen Ford? We've already covered Chop Robinson and Edgerrin Cooper. Do you guys want to skip to somebody we really don't know nothing about yet? I'm only covering guys that the Eagles brought in for visits. I'm only covering guys right now who the Eagles called in for visits. All right, so I'll look up Jalen Ford. All right, let me look up Ford. Jalen Ford. There he is. Jalen Ford out of Texas. All right, so we're going to end the evening with Jalen Ford. And then tomorrow we're going to address other linebacker, Trevin Wallace out of Kentucky, Cooper DeJean out of Iowa, Andrew Phillips, corner out of Kentucky, and DeCamerion Richardson, corner out of Mississippi State. We're going to end tonight, discussing Jalen Ford, linebacker out of Texas. 6'2", 200. What is up with these linebackers being? These linebackers are 6'1", 6'2", 6'3". Like these guys are short, man. These guys are short. Now, granted, Jalen Ford, he got more, he a little bit. He's a bigger guy than N'Kobe for sure. But these linebackers, man, none of these guys are physically imposing. All right, Jalen Ford, 6'2", 240 pounds out of Texas. His play style, they consider him to be a box safety. Average height, average weight, average hands, average arm length, average 40-yard dash time, arguably below average. Average vertical, above average broad jump, a good broad jump. I mean, doesn't really jump off, but rated a 3-star athlete by ESPN, 24/7 Sports, and Rivals.com, respectively. Let's read his strengths. So this is Jalen Ford, Texas linebacker. These are his strengths. Ford shows good quickness off the line of scrimmage and flashes the violent hands to win around the edge. He can be used as a rangy run defender inside, instinctive when it comes to locating the ball within the quickness to get to it before blockers can react at the second level. Downhill defender and physical tackler, uses his eyes to decipher and break down the play, showing good awareness and discipline to sniff out fakes. Shows the closing burst and footwork to work well in tight areas. Ford chases well in pursuit, and Ford has the athleticism to play in space if asked to drop into coverage. A bit stiff, but makes the clean open field tackle. Good effort in pursuit. So this guy works better clearly in a box. He works better in close quarters, right? You don't want him running sideline to sideline. You just don't want that. Good instincts, a quick decision maker. Here are his weaknesses. Gets caught with his eyes in the backfield at times. Strong backs can run through his tackle attempts if he's not in position. Okay, so he has to have perfect technique. Lacks the kind of pure speed to consistently close or get home when used on looping rushes. Lacks elite quickness and change of direction ability to handle NFL slot receivers after initial contact. Okay, me personally, I don't know how comfortable I feel leaving him in coverage. I know they say he can if you ask him to, but that doesn't mean I want him to. Nothing really impressing me about what I read so far when it comes to Jalen Ford, but who knows what he'll turn into. Who knows what he'll turn into. But anyway, all right, you guys. There you have it. It's been a hell of a show. And I appreciate you guys for locking in for as long as you guys have. I don't take it for granted. 69 people on the X side, 25 people on the YouTube side. I really appreciate the love and the support. I know it's late on the East Coast. I know it's 11:16 where you guys are. It's 10:16 Central Time where I am. It's 9:16 in the mountains, and it's 8:16 on the Pacific Coast. So I appreciate you guys. And look, it's probably 7:16 or 6:16 in Hawaii. But I appreciate you guys for locking in and showing mad love as you guys always do. Once again, let's give a shout out to my guy Corey Allen for donating twice to the channel. Shout out to the good brother S. Blunt for donating to the channel as well. And shout out to my mother, Carolyn Palmer, for donating to the channel. I appreciate you guys so much. It means a lot to me. And the love is always felt on this side. Again, before we get out of here, make sure you guys smash that like button. Please, 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 before you get out of here, if you haven't done it already, all my Twitter folks, all my folks on X, if you can do me the quick favor, if you can jump over to the YouTube side really quickly, smash that like button. It'll really help the content grow. It'll really help new people find the show as well, and it'll put me on the good side of the YouTube algorithm. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the show. It means a lot to me. And also make sure you guys please hit that notification bell. Once again, if you haven't already, please hit that like button. And there you have it. I'm your host, Tone DeShields II. And you guys were locked in on Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game.